Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte, takes on Moses Itauma in a mouth-watering mega clash. A heavyweight dust-up for the ages going down August the 16th in Riyadh. It is going to be an absolute capitulation in the kingdom. There's going to be some serious bombs thrown, and only one man will prevail. Dillian Whyte, 31 wins, 21 KOs, only 3 defeats. You know, this brother brings war. He is known as a body snatcher, and he fights a young lion. Moses Itauma, 12 wins, 10 KOs, but he's not been in with anyone of the caliber of Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte has beaten the likes of Dave Allen, Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker. He's beaten Povetkin. He's knocked out Lucas Brown. He's been in with much more seasoned fighters. So who will prevail? Let us know your thoughts. Who you think will win? Is the old wolf being hung out like a lamb to the slaughter? Excuse the pun. So the old lion, so the young lion can come in and feast and pick away on his bones and eat away until the bone gristle, you know? Is this being a setup? Is Moses just going to walk through this brother? You know, is he going to walk through walls like he's Sonic the Hedgehog? Or can Dillian Whyte cause a huge upset? Well, we're going to get into the fight. We're going to look into it. But one thing I must say is this fight cannot fail to live up to expectations. It is going to be a barnstormer. I'm going to go as far to say is it should be a criminal offense, punishable by beheading if this fight fails to live up to expectation. Whyte always brings the heat. Always brings the heat. And this brother Moses, he's cold, man. This brother is cold. So let's look at the keys to the victories for both men. Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, seasoned brother, always involved in good fights, always brings a war. But he's going to need to be much more defensively aware in this fight. He can't just be loading up like it's a Chinese buffet, all you can eat, loading up with every shot, swiping left and right with disdain in his mouth with his hooks like he's on Tinder, just swiping away left and right. He needs to be more calculative. He needs to work out what he's doing, educated pressure. Often we see Dillian Whyte looking to beat the next man like he sold him a kilo of baking soda. But he needs to be smarter in this fight. He needs to take it to the latter end of the fight. He needs to take Moses into deep water and hope he can drown him, you know. But can Moses walk on water? That's the key to this fight. And people are really interested to see how Itauma responds to the pressure that Dillian Whyte is going to give him. Dillian Whyte is aggressive. That brother comes to bruck you up. He comes to stretch you out like he's doing yoga, you know. He's looking to stretch you out like a limousine. He's looking to park you up like you're a Mini Cooper with power steering. He's got the one punch bang. We know that. We know this brother can hit and knock the sonic rings out of you. We know he hits like a train. You know, he's got serious power in both hands. His hooks are absolutely deadly, you know. But we do feel that Dillian Whyte needs to take this into the second half of the fight. He needs to be there. He needs to hang around like an unpaid bill. You know, one of those ones. He needs to be in Moses's face in those later rounds and try and test his resolve. You know, be on him. Be on to him like he's a tattoo stuck on him and causing him aggravation. But in terms of Moses, this is, you know, Moses, people are expecting him to blast Dillian Whyte out. And what does he have to do? Well, he just has to be himself. This brother is cold, you know, this brother is cold, you know, and when your fellow professionals are saying this brother is cold, you know, he's been sparring top athletes at the age of 15 as a teenager. He's been in with the likes of a Coley and Joe Joyce, and they're all coming out and saying this brother is cold, you know, colder than Palmer, you know, he's real, he's an Iceman, you know. And I think the key for him is composure. He just cannot freeze on the top stage. You know, you're on the top table now. If you want to be a top boy like Sully, you know, you cannot freeze now on the big stage. One of the ways we can see him getting turned over, he could get turned over like he's a new leaf if he freezes. If he freezes on that stage like he's Elsa, you know, he needs to stay composed. This is just another sparring session for him. This is another opponent for him. If he keeps his composure, I'm sure he's going to show that he is the real deal. But he will be tested, Dillian Whyte is going to look to soften this brother up. He's going to try and look to see if he's softer than ice cream. He's going to be onto him, and this is going to be a huge test to see if Moses is the real deal. Can he handle this pressure? Or will he make himself a diamond and shine and take on the baton of the division? He needs this victory. But listen, as I said, if you want to be the Tony Soprano of the fight game, he needs to be looking good against Dillian Whyte. He needs to look really good. If he wants to get that Usyk fight, some people are saying it's too early, but if he wants to try and win a heavyweight title younger than Mike Tyson, he needs to look really, really good in this fight. So pressure is on him, and a good win would put him in pole position like Lewis Hamilton. If he can win in devastating fashion, if he can, literally drop Dillian Whyte through a trapdoor with a one-punch bang and come out of there in absolute style, then people will be calling for the Usyk fight. People will be trying to get him into title fights. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting for Moses Itauma. I think a key for him is going to be the uppercut. Dillian has been, he has been publicly executed with uppercuts in the past. We've seen his legs gone from, big uppercuts. As he gets his head down, he throws shots over the top. And Itauma, we know, has got a good uppercut. He's shown great uppercuts on the inside. I think that's going to be one of the key punches. I think Ben Davison, his coach, will know that as well. He's a student of the game. And he'll know that, Dillian Whyte is susceptible to uppercuts. So I think that's going to be a really, really key punch. And it's just whether he can land it, and for Dillian, we know Dillian's got that power and he's potentially the power puncher in this fight. We do not know, but we know that when Dillian does land his punches, when he lands those hooks like a Boeing 747 at Gatwick, then usually the result is extermination. Usually he puts you to sleep, like a bedtime story and a couple of teaspoons of night nurse, he will put you to sleep. It's a great fight. It's a great matchup. Let us know who you think will win. Gunman is going for Moses Itauma. I think he wins in 5 rounds. I think he gets the job done. I think he is the real deal. But Dillian Whyte, made no bones about it. He's a tough test. Can you like? Can you comment? Can you share? And subscribe to Gunman Boxing, the baddest boxing channel in the UK and the globe. Tune into this fight live on DAZN, Riyadh season, baby. Dillian Whyte versus Moses Itauma. Who wins?